Ladies and gentlemen, this is really interesting. This is an article in The Guardian. Lock him up. Why is repeat offender Donald Trump still a free man? I'll explain in this segment, ladies and gentlemen. So, with all due respect to the journalist, or the writer of this article, or op-ed, opinion piece, I will explain why he's a free man. Because they have nothing on him. Because there are two reasons why New York and James Comey and Strzok and McCabe and Clapper and others have investigated President Trump. Two reasons. One is to uphold the rule of law. One could be to uphold the rule of law. One could be because of his rampant criminality and that Trump has done has committed so many egregious crimes, broken so many legal statutes, that they had to protect this country from record low unemployment, First Step Act, prison reform legislation, Trump being the first president to step foot in North Korea to begin détente between North and South Korea, to protect this country from Trump negotiating a deal to remove us from a 20-year, seemingly never-ending counterinsurgency conflict, and everything else from the USMCA to a whole bunch of things, signing an executive order to combat anti-Semitism on college campuses. So, from the moment they investigated him, they had nothing. They needed a dossier, then they needed his tax returns. They still haven't found anything. Maybe because there isn't a predicate crime, but we'll get into this article. The ex-president is accused of abuse of power, fraud, tax evasion, and more, but he has not been charged with anything. With all due respect to the author, do you think maybe that points to a political motive? A political basis for going after Trump, and perhaps not because he's this Al Capone type of individual? Do you think maybe, just maybe, when James Comey and John Brennan are pundits on MSNBC and CNN and given favorable write-ups in the New York Times and the Washington Post, do you think just maybe that Democrats have utilized the American justice system against their political rivals? Is that a possibility, or is that just a tinfoil hat fantasy like the Steele dossier? But let's go ahead and read. A sudden fall from power always comes hard. King Alfred reduced to skulking in Somerset Bog. A distraught Napoleon talked to coffee bushes on St. Helena. So now Trump is like a name in history, and this tyrant, or this king that's been deposed, or he's in exile like Napoleon. All of which brings us to Donald Trump, currently in exile in his luxury club in Bedminster, New Jersey, whining amid the manicured greens, winging amid the manicured greens and bunkers of his exclusive golf course. The defeated president recalls an aging Bonnie Prince Charlie, a sort of king over the water. Okay, so it's always the same template. Trump isn't that important, he's not that powerful, influential, and so he has to be cut down to size. Okay, the fact he is not and has not been charged with anything is a genuine puzzle. Some might say a scandal, even a tinfoil hat type of theory. Now, the notion that he needs to be charged with something, so hit subscribe to this channel right now, because I've written about this in the Federalist, and the Daily Caller, the Jerusalem Post, and other publications, and when I was on the left, in the Huffington Post, Salon, and The Hill. You could read my writing on hagoodman.com. Please go ahead and subscribe also to H.A. Goodman's other channel. Trump's actual and potential crime rap sheet long predates the January. It includes alleged abuses of power. Any president, if you know anything about politics, any president could have been accused of that. With President Obama went after more journalists, utilizing legal statutes that were not used generally against journalists, more so than any of his predecessors. Obstruction of justice, Mueller did not find anything. There was no there was a high to moderate confidence assessments, and the U.S. intelligence agencies went after Trump under the absurd notion that he helped Putin in some way purchased Facebook ads, or he benefited from Facebook ads that not one person was influenced by. Can you name a Facebook ad, ladies and gentlemen? Nobody can. Then there's, fraud, tax evasion. The IRS had his taxes for years and years. Why didn't they either? You would think that some information would have leaked out that he was this rampant criminal. Russian money laundering, that never happened, because guess what? Mueller not only confiscated a server in one of his buildings, which they didn't do with Madam Secretary and Clinton, who had top secret and special access program intelligence on servers running outside of the United States government, but they found nothing. And money laundering, if Russian money laundering is not a difficult thing to it wouldn't be a difficult thing to prove. They had hundreds of thousands, millions of documents from Mueller. And they also looked at a flow of money when it came to any contacts with Russian associates. They found nothing. No emails, no money trail, no checks, no nothing. Election tampering. The FEC has dropped numerous cases pertaining to Trump because they don't have anything, from Stormy to another recent one pertaining to donations, which, by the way, Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign in disgrace in 2016. Conflicts of interest. You want to talk about the wonderful Clinton Foundation? Hush money bribes. That was... and then, this is bizarre. He uses a word that I'm not going to use because of the algorithm, but he accuses Trump of specifically ordering the ending of someone's life. Where do you get this? Talk about tinfoil hat nonsense and a lot of lies. Okay, the Washington 25%, according to CBS Market Watch, one article, 25% of all the alleged lies Trump told were actually true, and then a good portion was just hyperbole, where most of it was true. But anyway. Let's take one allegation at a time. Okay, January, he wasn't charged or accused, or no charges were leveled to him in a court of law in Washington, D.C. The mayor and the attorney general never leveled any charges. Okay, there's a reason for that, because he's protected under the First Amendment, and he used the word peaceful, and he never told anyone to commit any illegal act. Okay, then he was impeached. So then here, hold on. Yet these long-running investigations lack tangible results. That's because they have nothing. So now they're going after him for his tax returns and allegedly lying to Deutsche Bank, but Deutsche Bank never notified anyone. Furthermore, he just recently got a $2 billion bank loan, $2.1 billion. And they say, oh, structured with bonds. So what? Who cares? If he was completely radioactive and nobody wanted to work with him, then he wouldn't have received those bonds. I mean, that loan. $2 billion with 2%, something like that. Then they say they're still talking about his dealings with Putin and Russian oligarchs. They have nothing. They've never had anything. But they never investigated 500 conflicts of interest with which a Clinton Foundation employee stated in an email. Where are the emails stating that Trump has 500 conflicts of interest? Where is the money flow? Like Uranium One, millions from Uranium One, from Madam Secretary's foundation into Uranium One. That's according to the New York Times. So it's like this double standard is unbelievable. You look one way, maybe it's not about the rule of law. Maybe if you're covering up, Hunter, the president's son, how can you use your influence on behalf of the company? You have all of these incriminating emails. I mean, they can't type an email without incriminating themselves. But no one investigates. One prosecutor in New York couldn't find anything with Bill and Hillary's foundation. Nothing. But you better believe that the same New York attorneys are going after Trump because they have to find something. It's been 3 months now. February 25th was when they first acquired his tax returns. Then he goes after a whole bunch of, he pushed for 10 instances of obstructing investigations. Yeah, Mueller he could have simply asked the DOJ to indict President Trump. He didn't. And James Comey actually said there was no intent with Clinton to use servers for 4 years. But now they couldn't find, the evidence was insufficient, according to Mueller. That was the word he used, to charge anyone for conspiring alongside Russian associates. But they said, oh, he obstructed justice. There wasn't even a predicate crime. There wasn't even something that actually happened they were investigating. The intelligence reports were based on high to moderate confidence. They investigated based on high to moderate confidence. Other than that, no evidence at all. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now and hit subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. He hasn't been indicted yet or charged because they don't have anything. And it's purely political in nature. It's not about the rule of law. Because if it was about the rule of law, they would also go after their own side with the same energy and enthusiasm as they go after Trump. And there's even greater circumstantial evidence pointing to corruption and criminal acts on their side. Give me your thoughts below. Subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel right now.